Well, in 1983, there was a cartoon. Oh, I gotta turn this thing on. There was a cartoon called Dungeons and Dragons that ran for 3 seasons, kind of like 2.5 seasons. And it was released on DVD in 2006, I want to say, maybe? I have the box set somewhere behind me. And in that box set was a map. And this map is on my screen right now. Although you'll notice down here, I'm going to turn the volume down for me. Actually, you know what I got to do? Oh, I almost forgot. I am going to, as this is a live stream, I am going to quickly, oh so quickly, I didn't, as usual, I'm not prepared. Discord, what a wonderful thing you are. Always taking a million years to load. Let's move that over here. Gonna go to my personal Discord for my art, which you can find. What am I looking for? Live streams. Here we go. Here we go. Bonk. Publish. Yes, confirm. That way people can join me and we can talk about this project as it's happening in real time, unless you're watching this as a recording. Which, thanks for doing that. And my point is, this map is not representative of the cartoon. So it annoyed me as being a nerd. It annoyed me a little bit. Because there are some references to things that happen in the cartoon, but mostly not. But, as I was going to say, as I was going to point out, if you look down in this particular one, I got off the internet, it says the sticker book map. Elfsar, hail yourself, welcome. Today I'm talking about, and going to be, I guess you could call it kind of drawing. The title of this video is Fixing the Dungeons and Dragons Map of the Realms, specifically the cartoon. So this map was in the box set for the DVD, and it made me angry. Confused first, and then angry. But as I learned later, this map was actually made for the 1985 sticker book. So they took it and repurposed it for the DVD box set, but I didn't know that at the time. And then furthermore, if we look here, there's actually another page. So everything in here, I don't know everything. I haven't read the sticker book. They were, yes, Elfsar, they were kind of traps in purgatory. That's a fan theory. It's never explicitly said. So the things in the map, again, not everything necessarily, because I haven't read the sticker book. The sticker book was kind of like a choose your own adventure thing with stickers, which is an interesting idea. I think it was mostly a choose your own adventure book, and then sandwiched in at various points through the story, there were pages where you could just put stickers, which is good, I guess. And the sticker book looked like this. This is a sticker book. Plus, an exciting choose your own adventure. So yeah, kind of both in one. With reusable stickers, we know how that turned out, don't we? Reusable up to a point. And here's a little quick image of so this was 1985. It was published in Great Britain, so it was not available in the United States, which is why probably I didn't know about it for a long time. Until the advent of the internet. So that's great. But what I would like to do, what I was thinking of as I have been going through the cartoon series myself, what if this map were accurate-ish, or at least more accurate than it is in the box set. So that's kind of what I'm going to be working on today. Sorry, I just closed something I shouldn't have closed. Pardon me. I'm looking for too many apps. Yeah, no, so Elfsar, maybe you don't know this, but there was a script written for a finale that was never produced. The script was written, the episode was never animated. Never made it to storyboards. Just all they had was a script. But if you go on the internet, the title of the episode is called Requiem, and there is a fan-made animation of the script, which is longer than 22 minutes, which, as we know, all the cartoons in the 80s were 22 minutes long. And they took it's for a fan project, it's spectacularly done. But they, of course, they took some liberties and changed the ending. But to the script, I believe the choice was open. It ended at whether or not who is going to decide whether they will stay or go. And the fan-made video kind of answered those questions in the cartoon. So that was kind of cool. So you can look that up on the old YouTube. It's on there. But that's not what we're doing today. What we're doing today is we're gonna make this map. So I have this one here. Let's make a new project here. We're gonna make it 8.5 by 11 by 300. Sure, why not? Let's rotate that canvas, and let's grab that color. This is a little. Let me open this one. The colors are a little more rich. Whoa, what the heck? That's not right at all. Don't know what happened there. Okay, so let's not do that. Let's just grab this color here, and we will paste that in. And let's grab this color here, nice light, and let's choose a brush, and we can try to recreate. I feel I need to adjust the opacity to maybe, I should be using my stylus for this, not my mouse. That's my first problem. Maybe this isn't the right brush. Let's choose a different brush. Let's try stain. And again, let's actually make it less. So yes, here we go. This is a little bit better. Nice and brighter in the middle. And let's take this darkest. Is that the darkest one? I feel like it could be a little more splotchy. And let's adjust the opacity up a bit. So this is going to be our map, more or less. Let me get, something like that. Something like that. So this is our map. I should have saved the file before I started this, but I think that is a decent representation. We're not going to have the, as you can see, I'm not going to draw in all of these, come on. These edges here, these torn edges. We're just gonna do some vague placement. Now, maybe I should save it. Save. We're gonna save it in Dungeons and Dragons. We're gonna save it in maps and locations. I'm gonna call this Dungeon Map Fixed. Okay, so now. The second order of business is maybe it would be a good idea. Okay, here's another map, which I'm just going to drop right in here. Oh my God, why is it doing that? Let me try this one. No, I don't know if this is a weird program thing or if there's something wrong with the files, because that is annoying. Okay, let me try this one. Open with. No, I don't know what's happening. That's so weird. Some kind of an error. Okay. Strange. That kind of puts stymies what my plan was. But this is a map of the realm by James Michener, which, as you can see, based on the maps of Ian Johnson, themselves based on older maps. And this is kind of a consolidated map that somebody did of the D&D adventures, like the modules, I believe, merged with locations in the cartoon. So I was going to kind of use this as a guide rather than invent the wheel. Figure I could use this. So let's just see what they got here. So let's start over on the left. There's a lot to look at here, but in the cartoon, they certainly never went onto the. They never went out to the sea. There's no boats at all. Okay, here's something. Here's something. We got something right here. Okay, so we can start with that. What I need to do is I should probably choose a font. What? Let me look back at this. And it's just black. It's just black, and it's a pretty straightforward font, so we can use that. Sorry about my crazy brush here. Oops. Let's go to T. Let's choose black. And what font do I have? Let's take a look. Test. I think that's fine for now. Let me go back. Yeah, I think that I see some. There's some serifs. Does this one have serifs? Let me try. Let me do Valley of the Orcs. Ba, 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 ba. Valley of the Orcs. No, there's no serifs on this, so let's find a different one. Here we go. Sure. That'll do fine. The kerning is a little bit weird, but that's fine. So, what was I looking at on this map? I was looking at on the far left, kind of in the, I don't know what you call it over here, there is the Valley of Smoke and Zin. And that is from the episode The Garden of Zin. So let's put that in. Let's drop it in. Come on now. Maybe I should just write it out. The Garden of Zin, rather than trying to fiddle around with. But let's let's change the font. Let's just say, let's make it a 10-point font. Maybe I should. Okay, I'm reconsidering my strategy here. Let's just not use font, and let's use our artistic processes. So let's get a font. Okay, great. And I'm just gonna rough it in. Oh, so rough. So this is gonna be, we're gonna put Garden of Zin. And these things are gonna move around. It's all gonna be an organic process. Caitiff is here, welcome. Yes, there's less drawing in this and more just nerdiness. And then the Valley of Smoke, which is fine. Valley of Smoke. I have a picture of the Valley of Smoke, I believe. Which I guess, in theory, I could just drop in. Where are you? There it is. And then maybe I should try and see if it had that weird color thing that was happening. So this is the Valley of Smoke. Let's open it in Photoshop and see what happens. Yeah, that one worked fine. So maybe there's just something weird going on. Let me just drop it in. Let me just drop it in. Because why not? There's the Valley of Smoke. Let's make the text layer blue. The Valley of Smoke. I'm going to turn on my fan because it's a little bit warm in here. Hopefully that doesn't come across the microphone or the vibration or anything like that. And underneath the Garden of Zin, let me get back to this thing here. I'm going to close Discord because I don't need it anymore. Come on now. There you are. Move it over. The purple, you notice it says purple worms. That's underneath. So here's the problem that I have is some of the stuff in Dungeons & Dragons, not surprisingly, there's an entire layer level underground. There's an underground world called the Underdark. And in some of the episodes, they do spend time in the Underdark. And in this particular one, there's the Trial of the Purple Worms is something that happens in the Garden of Zin. And I invite you to go onto my YouTube channel and look at my episode, Storyboard Artist Reacts to the episode, The Garden of Zin. But it's not like, the Purple Worms is not like a location, so probably we're not going to do that. But having Zin here and the Valley of Smoke, that is appropriate. So this person decided to put it on. Oh, my phone's alarm is going off in the other room. So we'll if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me. Everything else that I'm looking at on the left side in the water is not relevant to the D&D cartoon. Nope, 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 nope. Okay, so let's go. Let us now take a look at the second. Fairy dragons. There was the cave of the fairy dragons. So that's kind of on the bottom here. So let's do that. Let's just draw it in. Cave of the fairy dragons. Elfsar asks, are you planning to do a campaign set in the cartoon universe? It's a good question. I have done campaigns. Yes, I have done campaigns set in the cartoon universe. I actually have a whole blog entry about that. Maybe I'll pull it up. So if you went to TorinAtkinson.com and what would I search for? It was cartoon adapting. Yeah, that'll probably come. Yeah, here we go. So this is from last year. Where I did this adapting Prison Without Walls D&D cartoon episode to a D&D tabletop adventure. And I go through this is somebody else's map. There's a picture of the mist-enshrouded mountains. There's the Veil of Mists, which we will be putting on this map that I'm doing presently. And some pictures and some suggested battle maps. And yeah, what else? And here's a little section on DM challenges. Here's some miniatures that would be appropriate for use in this adventure. But if you look at the top here, there's a whole other blog entry that kind of like gives the how-to, or at least my strategy for adapting cartoon episodes to the D&D campaign. Because some of them you can, but others you can't, because the choices that the characters make in the cartoon, player characters would never make. Oh, snap. I'm having trouble with my microphone. Ugh. So, yeah, check that out if you want to know more. Gotcha, man. So, where were we? Let's go back to let's close these. We put in the Cave of the Fairy Dragons. Great. Great. We got that. I'm looking for more. Cloud Castle. Now, there wasn't a Cloud Castle. There was Merlin's Castle. So maybe that's what they meant. So let's put Merlin's Castle. That was in the episode. That was in episode number 1. Merlin's Castle. And I believe I have that. Do I have a picture of that? Do I? Yes, there it is. Episode 1. What happens if I drop it in? Yeah, see, it's being normal now. So, spoiler alert, Merlin's not in his castle when they think there's somebody who's pretending to be Merlin in Merlin's castle, but it is indeed in the clouds. So that is fun. So let's put that over there. And maybe we won't do it this time, but maybe there will be a time when we clean up the map and make it look all nice. I was hoping to overlay. Here's what I'll do. This might not work because of resolution, But let's do this. Let me try this. Maybe this is a better way to do it. I'm going to grab that. I'm going to cut it. Since I'm having trouble importing the image for some reason, maybe we do this. And hopefully we can read the text. I think we can do it. I think we can do it. So, this is cool. This is fun. Don't dispute me. Okay, it's a little hard to read. But let's give it a shot. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, how should I do this? Let's do another layer. I'm going to select white. And then I'm going to, this is what we're going to do. All right, now, this might be a faster, more efficient. So, awesome. I want my, yep. Okay, this will be a faster way to do it, I think. So we got the Valley of Smoke. We got the Garden of Zin. I wish it was a little better, easier to read. We got, there's no Satyr Wood. There's no Shady Dragon Inn. That's all from the modules. There is a layer of Tiamat, so we can put that in. Maybe it's okay. Yeah, I'll get into it now. So Tiamat is the big queen of dragons, demon queen of dragons, I believe, in the cartoon, and she pops up in quite a few episodes. But she doesn't have, it's never, like, she just comes out of caves sometimes, and it's not consistent, so I don't know if, like, there's one layer of Tiamat, but she definitely is in the episode The Dragon's Graveyard, which features a location called The Dragon's Graveyard. Now, is this map by, what's his name, James Misher? Is this supposed to be The Dragon's Graveyard? Not sure yet. We may discover that. Scylla's Tower, that is all from, not from the cartoon, but I recognize it. Scylla was, I think there was an action figure of Scylla. It's so weird because the D&D cartoon, there were D&D action figures, and in the 80s, and some of the action figures appeared in the cartoons, but there were no action figures of any of the main characters. There was no Eric the Cavalier or Diana the Acrobat or Bobby the Barbarian or Uni. There was no Venger. There was no Tiamat. But there were a few characters. Strongheart, the fighter paladin or whatever it was, and then Warduke, the kind of mercenary bounty hunter badass. They had action figures, and Kellic, the wizard, I believe, also had an action figure, and they all appeared in like one episode each. So it was kind of interesting. Let me check in with the chat here. Elfstar says, I may one day do a portrait series of all the characters from the show. That would be fun. There is a Facebook group called I think there might be two actually, for fans of the D&D cartoon. Sadly, it is plagued by AI art. I used the word art. AI imagery, more appropriately. But yeah, if you do those, you can post them in that group, and I'm sure you will be lauded appropriately. Katif says, not sure if I heard it. Are you including the unaired Requiem script? I'm not sure what that question is. I remember loving the design of the Shadow Demon. Yes, Shadow Demon is very cool. A lot of these maps are also shown in the D&D online game Neverwinter. Oh, okay, good. I played that, but when it came out. So anyway, let's get back to, where did we see the fairy dragons? It's down here somewhere, right? Let me zoom out a little bit. The Lurid Lamassu. Oh, I see one. The Citadel of Shadow. That's definitely in there. Here's Venger's Realm. I feel like there's no one, like the Venger's Realm is the entire... okay, here we go. Thornwood and Kellic's Tower. I don't think they refer to it as Thornwood in the cartoon, but Kellic appears in the sticker book, the aforementioned sticker book. and the D&D module Quest for the Heartstone, and I think a couple of other like choose your own adventure type books. I'm looking for, there's the fairy dragons. That's what I'm looking for. Why is my, there we go. So this is all great. Castle something worm. The Hills of Never. That sounds familiar. I'm gonna, and the Orc Camp. I think this is the something of Shadow? The Mine of Shadow? No. Castle Ravenloft? No. Palace of the Silver Princess? No. That is one of the, that was definitely a module, as is Oasis of the White Palm. Hopefully you can see where my cursor is here. The Tomb of Amun-Ra? No. Scorpion Orc Camp. Guido's Fort. Cavern of the Hook Horrors. Okay. There are hook horrors in the episode City at the Edge of Midnight, which is the next episode I plan on doing for Storyboard Artist Reacts. But it is not a cavern. It's an oasis with ruins. There's no caverns. So if we look at, let's go back to here. Let's go back here. Let's muck this up. There's no, let's deface the art. Okay, the art is good. I have no problems with the art. I have no problem with the design. My problem is lore. And again, this is from the sticker book. These locations appear in the sticker book. But there's no Cavern of the Hook Horrors. There's no Eye of the Winds. There's no Lair of the Bronze Dragon. There's no Bottomless Bog. There's no Black Lake. There's no Snake Pass. There's the Gardens of Zin. There's no Gardens of Evil. There's no Singing Sands. There's no Ice Caves. There's no Box Canyon. Lair of Tiamat? Maybe. Valley of the Orcs? Kind of. There's an episode where there is a valley and there are orcs. Again, with the Kingdom Avenger, no. Scorpion Desert. Kellick's Castle? Yes. 100%. that is the only one canonically. And then if we check out this other, I can't. Let me open it up here, just so we can look at it. There's no Lizard Lair. There's no Wretched Pass. There is the Hall of Bones. Hall of Bones, yes. I think that's like the second or third episode. Really good one. Again, check out my Storyboard Artist Reacts on my YouTube channel for that. Everything else on here is not relevant to the... I think there might be a Gloomy Forest, but it's not called out in the cartoon. It might be labeled as such. Here's the thing. So I have access to a bunch of the scripts, the original scripts for the cartoon, and they will specify some things that are not specified in the cartoon. But that's not really important. But it's interesting. It's interesting. Okay. So, we look forward to finding Kellick's Castle on this big map. There's no Castle Gloom, Orcs of Varun, something, what does that say? What do you think that says? Bog Beasts. Oh, yes! There is Bog Beasts, but it's upside down. The Great Cavern? That might be something. That might be something. Okay, let's move up. Elkhorn was one of the, just so you can read it. Elkhorn was one of the action figures. He was a dwarf, but he doesn't appear in any of the episodes. The Lost Tower of the Celestial Knights. Here we go. Absolutely, yes. 100%. That is in there. I'm not sure anything else in the surrounding area. There's a henge. Yes. That is... The henge is in the episode. Here. Let me grab... I believe I have the henge. Do I? Maybe I don't. But while we're looking through this stuff, I just want to show you something super cool. Here is the production art, or actually it might be the background that was used for like a wide panning shot. Because as you can see, this was made in Japan. So this was the episode of the Dragon's Graveyard. So I believe this was like a wide panning shot that they filmed. So that's pretty cool, number one. And number two, there's another one. Where are you? Here it is. This is titled Venger's Throne Room. So it's not... Venger had a bunch of castles, quote-unquote castles, that appeared throughout the series. Some of them recurred, but mostly when you see one Avengers castle, it's a different castle. So, like I said, he's all over the realm. But that was just some nice art that I'd like to share. Here, for example, is one of Avengers castles. This is I just call it Avengers Undercliff Lair, and so I don't know where that'll be, but that will be added to the map, probably somewhere where there's room. Moving on. Okay. Okay, let's, we were moving up. I wish this was Tower of Dragon Knights. No. Castle Strongheart. No. Tower of Ringelrun. No. These are all characters. Ringelrun is the wizard that appears on the player's handbook for like the second printing of the second edition book or something, I believe, or maybe the second printing of the first edition Dungeon Master's Guide. Remor has his frost giants. They do fight a frost giant, but there's no. I'm not going to put the location in. White Dragon, Fortress of Fangs, Castle Caldwell. Caldwell, that's interesting. Caldwell was is the last name of one of the artists. Clive Caldwell, I believe. There's a really good documentary on, I think I watched it on Tubi, about the artists, some of the old school artists for D&D, which I think is called Eye of the Beholder, the artists of Dungeons & Dragons, or something like that. Really worth checking out if you like that sort of thing. Just checking the chat. There was that finale that never got animated. Yes, we were talking about that before you joined in. Yeah. So let's keep on moving. Okay, I see the Hall of Bones. Perfect. I see the giant snails. I see a Barrier Peaks, which does not appear in the cartoon. But we got that. We got that going for us. Anything else? Lost Temple. There's so many. There's got to be so many lost temples. Warduke's Castle. That's interesting. I'll allow it. I don't think we ever see Warduke's Castle. Warduke appears in a cave, and then he appears in the slave mines of Daramore. It's both in the same episode, but we never see his castle. And here's the slave mines of Barrymore. Although in the script it's Daramorn, not Barrymore. But the Valley of the Unicorns is that's great to have that there. I'm not seeing anything else. The Bullywug box. This is all episode number 5. In Search of the Dungeon Master. All this stuff here. No, not Unicorn Valley, but Slave Mines of Barrymore or Daramorn, the Bullywug Bog, and Warduke's Castle. Where's the No Trees? Oh, here it is, right here. Oops. Oh, no. I want the eraser. There it is. The forest with no trees is what Dungeon Master called them. So treants, I'm just gonna call them, they're not really treants, because they don't get up and move around, but they're just trees that talk and have attitude. So this is all good. This is all good stuff. Stonekeep, Guido's Fort, Oasis of the White Palm, Vistani Camp, Castle Ravenloft, no. Yellow Temple, no. Lizard Folk, I feel like the Tomb of the Lizard King. That is a D&D adventure. The Plain of Ruin, Swamp of Sorrow. Is the Swamp of Sorrow? I'm not sure. I'm gonna... What does that say? Violet Fungus. Okay, so this is from the episode Prison Without Walls. What is this supposed to say? Something River. I can't read it. So that is definitely from an episode. The Swamp of Sorrow. Yes, it's coming back to me. All right, let's keep moving up. We're making our way. The Veil of Mists. Yes, I think so. The Maze of Darkness. Yes. I feel like the Veil of Mists is correct, but I can't place what the episode would be. Ba-ba. Undercliff Castle. That must be, maybe that's gotta be Avengers, what I called the Undercliff. I just called it Avengers Undercliff Lair. Let's drop it in. Holy for moly. Alright, let's drop that in since I have it. since I have it ready to go. Ba-ba-ba-ba-da-bum. What are we going to call that? Where is it? Undercliff Castle. There it is. There she is. Ba-ba-ba-da. Oh no, I started drawing things on the wrong layer. No, I didn't. Nope, everything's fine. Everything's fine. Don't panic. But we can move that underneath for now. Cool, cool, cool. The Swamp of Darkness? I'm not sure about that. Okay, cool. Let's keep moving up. Fellbridge, Temple of Eld, no. Forest of Light, no. Lake Mellowweed, no. Dwarberg, no. Kingdom of Bastion, no. Don't recognize that at all. Pergassi? Don't know what that is. Temple of Raven, Orcs of the Evil Eye, nope. Nope, nope, nope. Barrier Peaks, that is a module. Shrine of Evil, none of this stuff. Castle Maw, nope. No. The Moon Forest, yes. Moon Forest is from the episode The Traitor, where they meet the Cloud Bears, which are kind of like Ewoks with attitude. Don't care for it. Don't care for the Cloud Bears. Bottomless Swamp sounds familiar. I'm gonna write it in. What does that say? Something something. I don't know what that is. So we have that. And Orcs of the Broken Bone, nope. Smilodons, no. Cave Bears, Yeti. Do they fight a Yeti? Do they fight a Yeti in Dungeons and Dragons? Okay, here. Here we're going to go to another nerdy thing that I made. We're going to go to cartoon. There we go. The D&D cartoon reference. This shows you the depths and leagues of my ADHD / anal retentiveness. I have here. This is a reference sheet I made for all of the monsters that appear in all of the episodes of the D&D cartoon. There is a Yeti in Day of the Dungeon Master. There it is, right there. Episode number 18. And you'll see here I have the source of the monsters. And anything that's in yellow was made up for the cartoon. There's been arguments that on the internet about how most of the monsters from the cartoons were just made up for the cartoons. That's not true. I have proof right here. Some of them definitely were, but most of them, as you can see, all this green they were either directly used or adapted. Like, for example, they met a cockatrice, but the cockatrice never used its gaze power. So anyway, we do know that there are Yetis. So I guess, sure. Sure. Okay, we're making progress, moving over. Land of Blue Fire. Ooh, that sounds familiar. I'm gonna include it, and then if I'm wrong, I can always erase it. Frost Giants. There was a Frost Giant. Ice Barbarians, no. Nixies, no. What does that say? Bloodrock something. Banshees, Darkhaven. Yes, there is Darkhaven. What does that say? Dark Elf something, no. Banshees, no. But Darkhaven, yes. 100% for sure. There's no Fire Giants. There's Hill Giants. The Dungeon of Demo Dragon. There is? Okay. Demo Dragon was definitely in there. There was never a Dungeon of Demo Dragon. But there was Tardos's Keep. Tardis is right next to Tardos. And that's weird. The something of Tardos. But okay, so this is the episode The Treasure of Tardos, which is where they fought Demo Dragon. So that's definitely yes, we'll include that. And keep moving down from here. We've already seen these Orcs of Deathmoon, Forbidden Tower. The Forbidden Tower! That sounds familiar. Let's include the Forbidden Tower because I'm not sure. Again, I'm not sure what episode. There's got to be a Swamp of Darkness, right? Ooh, how did that happen? Why you got to do me like that, Photoshop? Swamp of Darkness? Maybe? I'll include it. Again, I can always take it away. Cult of the Reptile God? No. Orcs of the Dreamblade? No. Lost Kron? Is that what that says? Shaldron? Lone? Nope, 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 nope. The Isles of Woe? Nope. Okay, moving over. Tomb of Horrors. That's from the D&D adventure Tomb of Horrors. Gnome mines. The gnome mines. There were the mines, but they weren't there. I think this, no, I don't think so. I'm going to say no. There's Hamlet from the classic adventure. Castle Chris, Death Dogs, Fort Jabbar. No. Singing Sands. Oh, there's something that was in the, that was on the other map. This one, the Singing Sands. There it is. But not in the cartoon, so. Hit the road, Singing Sands. You're not doing anything for me. Quasqueton, that's in one of the adventures, but not the cartoon. The Blue Temple. So there's a lot. I mean, we're getting closer to the end. The other, and I'm seeing a lot of. I'm seeing some stuff that was in the cartoon, but a lot of stuff is missing from this map. So we got some work to do. All right, we're right at the very edge now. Anything happening interesting on the chat here? KTIF used the script they planned on using different script. Well, did the script include that tower? Eye of the Beholder is Eye of the Beholder. Yes. What was the location in Eye of the Beholder? I actually have. Oh, pardon me. I just had bubble tea, so I'm burping it up a little bit. Let me go to my drive. Because this is going to be the next step. Now that we're done the map. Or practically done the map. D&D cartoon locations. The Eye of the Beholder. The Valley of the Beholder was what they called the location in the Eye of the Beholder. So I'm not seeing the Valley of the Beholder here. Eye of the Beholder. Yes, Elfsar, also the name of a video game. Is this list on my blog? No, it's not on my blog. I could put it on my blog. I should put it on my blog. That's a good idea. That is a good idea. All right, let's just finish this map up. And Tower of High Wizardry, no. Don't know what that is. Hinville, Halfling, Figgins Fort, no. Salt Marsh, that's a good adventure. Alicorn Bay. Oh, there's an Alicorn River in one of the cartoons, but there's no Alicorn Bay. That's interesting. That's interesting. Okay, Kadish. Kadish is the far-off kingdom of Ramud, King Ramud, in the episode City at the Edge of Midnight. He was like a father figure to the kids as they tried to rescue Bobby and Ramud's daughter Aisha from the city of at the Edge of Midnight. There's a big demon that it's kind of like Monsters Inc. There's a big bad guy that steals children, takes them through this magical gate to another realm. So it won't be on this map. But the City at the Edge of Midnight will not be on the map because it's in another dimension. But Kadish is referenced in as being to the east, far off kingdom to the east. So that's good. And I'm seeing some Shadu. I'm seeing... Oh, this is the whole kingdom of Kadish. Okay. Yeah. So this is interesting. Yeah, all right. This is the kingdom of Kadish. Sure, why not? So I don't think we're going to find anything else on this map with regards to the Blight Swamp, the Tomb of Horrors, the Gnome Mines. We've already been there. Bigsby's Towers, no. Hidden Shrine, no. Things I can't read. Sark and Axebeaks, Plesiosaurus, Castle Dread, no. These are all adventures. Certain Temple, never heard of it. The Genie Isles, Temple of the Suns. Nope. I think we're done. I think we are done. Lehman's Tower, Face Shrine, Reston Ford, Odaluke's Tower. These are all adventures. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to... Right? Am I right? Oh. Where's the... Oh, no, it's there. Okay, great. So this is our next step here. we have no, it's great. It's good. Okay, so let's do this. So let's bring back our... This is going to be... Let's do it in red. Garden. Is this max? No, there's a problem with the opacity. Okay, okay. No. There we go. Great. Garden of Zin. Valley of Smoke. We're not going to include purple worms. Oh my god, why does get rid of that. Get rid of that. Merlin's Castle. I guess that's fine to be there. Cave of the Fairy Dragons. Cave of the Fairy Dragons. Let's try to overlap them as much as possible. Fairy Dragons specifically. Here is Kellex Tower. There should be, the Valley of the Unicorns should be nearby. And indeed it is. There it is. Valley of, here, let me adjust the opacity on this. Get rid of all these things. Valley of the Unicorns. Slave, that's fine to have the slave mines. Can't spell. Of, I'm gonna call it Daramorn because that's how they spell it in the script. And I'm running out of space here though. Tiamat's Lair. I'm not sure about this one, but I'm gonna write it down. And then what do we have over here? Bog Beasts. Not a place you would think you would find on the map, like a map of the realm, but we'll include it. There's also Great Cavern. I'm not sure. I need to rewatch that episode because I don't remember. And then here we have the Lost Tower of the, oh my god, the Celestial Knights. Great episode. Great episode. I did Storyboard Artist reacts to that one as well. This is the one where they go into the tower and they all face their fears. Which, circling back to our discussion about adapting the cartoon adventures to D&D, that would require role playing on the part of the player characters. So you could do it. Part of my strategy was when I imagining that I would adapt this episode. The episode is called Quest of the Skeleton Warrior. When I ran the campaign, and we went through character creation, I had every player choose a phobia, basically. And what was your character's greatest fear? So that we went into the Lost Tower of the Celestial Knights, we could, they had that was already established. So that's great. We have Henge Ruins, let's call them. I recall in the episode he says, "Meet me at the ruins to the east." But I could be wrong. Maybe he did actually say northwest. So we'll keep it on the map and we'll circle back to that. We got a Yeti. A Yeti who's yearning for yak yogurt. That was one of my 20-minute monsters. We have the Land of Blue Fire. I'm not sure about this one, but I'm going to write it in. We have the Bottomless Swamp, which sounds familiar. And we have the Moon Forest, which is the Cloud Bear's domain. The Moon Forest, the Moon Forest. Tardos Keep, we'll put here. Not sure about that Dungeon of Demo Dragon, but maybe I'll write it down really small with question marks all around it. Demo Dragon. Dragon. Oh, there's Dustlands. Dustlands. That sounds reasonable. Darkhaven. What's missing, notably, is the very first episode is the city of Helix. I did not see Helix on that map. And it's the Forbidden Tower, I think, is... I don't know what episode that is. But it certainly sounds like somewhere they would visit. The Swamp of Darkness. Again, not 100% sure, but I'll write it. I'll write it in. The Undercliff Vengers. Vengers. Undercliff. I'm not going to call it a castle. I'm going to call it a lair. The No Forest with no trees is what they call, is what is referred to in the episode. Again, Warduke's Castle. Maybe taking a little some liberties here. And then what am I missing over here? The Bullywug Bogs. Sure. I recall it wasn't really a bog. It was more of a forest. No, I think they're right. I think it's kind of like in between. They were in the forest. They started heading towards the Bullywug Bogs, if I recall correctly. So maybe that is correct. Maybe the Bullywug Bogs should be here. Bee Bogs. This is all very rough, of course. We have the Maze of Darkness, which is from an episode I haven't watched in a long time, but it's pretty cool. The Maze of Darkness and the Veil of Mists. I feel like the Veil of Mists is... Let me look around this area. Orcs of the Dripping Blade. And I still don't know what this is supposed to say. Cozy Kron? Here, let me look on my actual image. Ba-da, ba-da. Where is that? Where is ours? The Orcs of the Dripping Blade. This map is so big, it's a problem. Oh, there is Helix! I see Helix. Sorry. got excited there. Where is Helix? I think it's there. Yeah. It's here. Helix. Perfect. Merlin's Rest Inn. Interesting. I guess that would be where... Wasn't Merlin's Tower over? Merlin's Castle? Why did I draw that over there? Erase. There's no Merlin's Castle over there. Okay, so let's go back up. We have Helix. Tiamat's lair arguably is in the opening credits. Kind of, sort of, not really. But that's great that they have Helix. Helix. B. B for brush. Helix. And Merlin's Rest Inn. I guess let's call that Merlin's Castle. There's no inn referenced. So that's good. What was I doing before I got distracted by Helix? Helix's Castle. I was trying to read something that it's going to be impossible to find. So maybe we just don't worry about that right now. Bog Beast, Mosh Marsh, Great Cavern. Yeah. Okay. Calyx Tower, we got that. What's in Venge's Realm? The Grey Wastes. I don't know if they're ever been called the Great Wastes. The Hills of Never? The Hills of Never? Where are we now? Citadel of Shadow. That is definitely a place. I think. Shadow. So we'll put that. We'll mark that. The Hills of Never, maybe. The Hills of Never. It sounds familiar. So we were over here. Oops. Let me put this back on. Let me save my work. Sorry, there's no drawing. Did you get Zakara, Child of the Stargazers? Zakara? Oh God, that's one of the episodes I know the least. But let me refer to No, I don't have Zakara. Alicorn River. Ba, 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 ba. Yeah, I don't have. I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word for it. Zakara. Are you sure you spelled it correctly? Zakara. That's a city, right? Child of the Stargazer. And was it shown or was it referred to? Because I also have a column for that. Yeah, help me out. Help me out. So now... Oh, I haven't finished. The Veil of Mists. Veil of Mists. And Swamp of Sorrow. Great, great. Kadish, the Kingdom of Kadish. It's got to be big, right? Because he was... Dungeon Master called Ramuud the King of Many Kings. Yes, it was a large city. It was shown. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so with that, I think we can get rid of... Ooh, I missed something over there. The Hall of Bones. Ba-ba-da. Hall of Bones. What's that say? What does that say? Giant snails, yeah. I think that's all. Dawn Valley. Yeah, I think we're good. Torad. It wasn't Zakara. It was Torad. Is that what you're saying? I didn't think Zakara was very familiar, but also Torad is not very familiar. But I'll change it in my database in my little spreadsheet. I got mixed up with the campaign. Thank you. Okay, so we have. This is what we have. Let me bring back. Let me. There's not enough room for all the things, but that's a problem. That's not really a problem because I can move things. That's the great thing about. So the Merlin's castle is going to be. We decided it's going to be over here. Moylan. We got the Valley of Smoke. Okay, well, I have a question for Caitiff then. The Valley of Smoke. Let me get rid of this. Here's my question. My question is... what is my question? My question is... Is this? No. Is that? Is this from The Last Stargazer? Does that look like Torad or whatever it's called? Maybe arrange things in order of the episodes like a travel path. Yes, that is a way to do it. It's a good way to do it, I think. All right. Because it's a cartoon, there's no real specific order sequence. Excuse me while I have some bubble tea. And chew on microphone. While I'm chewing, let's do some stuff here. That's the Tower of the Celestial Knights. Which goes here, apparently. Oh, it's a disgusting noise. I regret doing this. We have the Moon Forest, which looks exactly like the Lost City of Endor. It was... When was it? It was the second season, so it would have been 1984. And 1983 was the year that Return of the Jedi came out, right? Because 1977 Star Wars, 1980 was Return of the was the Empire Strikes Back. Am I wrong? Anyway, so where did we put the Moon Forest? I'm looking for you. There you are, Moon Forest. we have this thing here, which I don't know what it is. Someone lovingly put up, again on this Facebook group, someone lovingly put up, I'm really impressed by all the backgrounds of the series, and they put up a bunch of stills, which I guess they had screenshot. Problem is I don't recognize all of them. But I recognize some of them. Like for this one, for example, I do not recognize. This might be The Last Illusion. Don't know if they ever named the town. That looks familiar. We see the city since there is sneaking in and out. The Stargazer had to get into that temple to banish the Demon Queen. So I think what I have to do if I want to make this map proper, I will actually have to go through the entire series, rewatch the episodes, and get my facts straight. This is from the episode The Time Lost, which is where there was a Nazi from World War II who didn't want to be a Nazi anymore. But Venger wanted the power of his he needed someone. Oh God, what was the plot? He had this portal. This is the time portal, so you can go into Earth at any time. And so he was opening. He was using it to get. What did he want to do? He eventually got a jet pilot from modern day 1983 or 84, I guess it would have been. And he got the jet, but the jet fighter wasn't cooperating with Venger's plan, so he got a Nazi plane pilot, and he says, "You go fly this." And with this power, I liked elements of the story, but that's kind of a weak premise. Anyway, this is from that episode, and I don't know if they ever said it was any particular place in the realm. And then, so I'm running out of pictures. He wanted to have the Nazis win. Thank you. That's right. He was going to take the jet, the modern jet, and put it into 1940s Germany. That's right. He was gonna use that Nazi pilot to say, "Take this to your time, and then you'll win the war, and evil will reign supreme." I don't know how that helps Venger get the weapons of power, but anyway. Oh, so the kids would never be born. Kate, if you're so smart. Here we have. This is moving on. This is from the episode Servant of Evil and Venger's Prison of Agony, which I did not see on the map. So let's just put it, I don't know, smack dab in the middle, I guess. I feel like there should be some rhyme and or reason. Bothers me that it's not straight, but oh well. What happened? Come back, Zinc. Redo embedded smart object. Okay. It bothers me that it's not. It's on a slight angle. Oh well. Too close to the Hall of Bones, maybe? Where can we find a spot? I like the idea of going chronologically, but it would not work. My first instinct is to say it wouldn't work geographically necessarily, but also it's like a magical realm, so who cares about real geography? Just make the mountain in the middle of the plains. Who cares? So maybe you're right. Maybe you're right and I'm wrong. Let's just put it over here. This will be the Prison of Agony. Oh, Stylus, come back, Stylus, come back. How long have I been streaming? Weren't there Flame Mountains? I do not remember Flame Mountains. Got so many things open. Can't see how long I've been streaming. 1 hour, 4 minutes. Okay. We'll keep going. Oh God, there was a Flame Mountain. That was in Requiem. There was a Flame Mountain in Requiem. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We are going to do Prison of Agony. Might be moved. All of these things might be shifted around. So, We got the river that rains upside down, which is the bog beast. So instead of writing bog beasts, even though this is underground, we're going to put it on the surface map. River that rains upside down. And I believe I have an image for this as well. Where are you, you crazy? There you are. There you are, you little SOB. So there's the river that rains upside down. Hallelujah. Sure. That's fine. And anything else that I have? I have the swamp in the prison without walls. It's kind of a crappy picture, though. You can't really see anything in it, so I'm not going to use it. And then Venger's Undercliff Lair I have already. So those are all the images I have prepped, except for these ones which I don't know what they are. Don't know what it is. Don't know what it is. Maybe that's Tardos. I'm not sure. Don't know what that is. Probably one of Venger's many lairs. Don't know what that is. And again, not sure about these ones. But that's fine. If you try making the biomes make sense, this will take a lot longer than a few hours. Yeah, exactly. The Prison of Agony. The Prison of the Agony in. Oh, you're suggesting the Prison of Agony is in Flame Mountain. Maybe. Okay. Now we're gonna go through my. What I should have done is numbered the episodes, but the first episode was Slave Mines, was In Search of the Dungeon Master, which has Slave Mines of Daramorn, which we've got. We've got Creepy Cave. Creepy Cave is what it's just described. It's not the Creepy Cave. It's just in the script. It's described as Creepy Cave, which is one of Warduke's lairs when he talks to Shadow Demon. He sends Shadow Demon to go get Venger, and then later they meet up in the Slave Mines of Daramorn. So I don't know if I want to. I guess I could put in. Where are we here? Slave Mines of Daramorn. Maybe that's not. It's not Warduke's castle. It's Warduke's cave lair. Let's do that. Warduke's cave lair. We'll do that one. There's also a root-clogged bog. Again, that's not a name. That's just... maybe that's the Bullywug Bogs. Possibly. Root-clogged bog. That's where Eric gets separated. Eric has this thing in this episode. The whole thing with Eric is he's contrarian. So part of the mandate of the show was to show that Eric is the contrarian, and then bad things happen when you go against groupthink, which is stupid and I don't like it. But in this episode, that's kind of like one. He says, "I'm not going that way. I'm going this way," and then he gets lost and bad things happen to him. And so only he is in the root-clogged bog. And then the forest with no trees we have already, so we're happy with that. And that's everything that I remember from In Search of the Dungeon Master. Let's go to the Eye of the Beholder, which has the Valley of the Beholder. Where should we put that? I guess it should be, if we go with your theory, that... oh no, I made a mistake. In Search of the Dungeon Master was episode 5. Oh my god. The first episode was the one with Helix. So Helix, actually, let's do that. This is episode number 1. Let's just write it right in. So episode 1 had Helix, and it had Merlin's Castle. So that's also 1. So those are grouped together appropriately. What was the name of that episode? What was the name of the first episode? Can't remember it. And I also don't have it written down on my database. It was... Gosh darn it. You know, there's an internet that has these things. All right. Eric had good character development. Yeah, you know, a lot of people say... There's 2 problems I have with the fandom's... what's the word I'm looking for? how they don't like Eric because he's too he's stuck up. He's too sarcastic. Those are all things I like. But also, everyone complains that he doesn't have a sword. The Cavalier should have a sword. Why does he have a stupid shield? But that's his personality. He's a coward, so he wants something to protect himself. And as we see through the series, when it comes down to the wire, he will put himself at risk for his friends. So yes, he does have great character development. Night of No Tomorrow. Thank you very much. I'm gonna write that on my list. I'm gonna add that to my database. Here, let's watch me add that to my database because that's fun. So this is the night. In fact, I should stop using the Night of No Tomorrow 1. Night of No Tomorrow. We're gonna put in. We're putting in Helix, which is the town, and then after one row below, it's going to be Merlin's Castle. Night of No Tomorrow. So the second episode is Eye of the Beholder. And there is a town, but I don't remember what it's called. So let's just let's figure out. So this is number 1. I do like the idea. So let's just put it here. Valley of the Beholder. But also there's a town. Where is that town? Let's just town TBD. Don't know the name of it. Maybe it was never named. I could look at the script. And then episode number 3, you know what I'm going to have to do? I don't like doing it, but I'm going to have to open another folder. All right, here is my Dungeons and Dragons folder. Let's look at it in list details. Number 3 was the Hall of Bones. Right? Yes. Hall of Bones. The Hall of Bones. Do I have that on my list? No, I don't. And what happened in Hall of Bones? There was the Hall of Bones. The Hall of Bones was in the Hall of Bones. And look at that. It's already conveniently placed. I don't remember any other places in the Hall of Bones, and I didn't have anything written down. So Hall of Bones comes from the episode Hall of Bones. I'll have to rewatch the episode to add anything else new there. Anything coming in on the chat? Cheers to our need to head out. Thank you, Elfstar, for joining me. The town in Night of Tomorrow's was Helix. Yes, I got that. Yeah, I got Helix. All right, so number 4, going back, is... well, that's 8. 8 is Servant of Evil. Number 4. What is episode number 4? I don't have any script or anything from episode 4. Okay, let's Google it. Dungeons, Dragons, cartoon, episode 4. Valley of the Unicorns. Perfect. Perfect. We've got that. And that's down here. And that also includes Kellick's Tower, which we have. And there was also the Woods, which I think might have been on the list. There's Woods. I think there's Woods. I can't remember. We'll move on. Episode 5 was the one I was talking about before, which was the In Search of the Dungeon Master. So we got Warduke's Lair. All this is 5. The Slave Mines of Daremorn is 5. So it is kind of weird. They are kind of grouped. Avengers Undercliff Lair. I should put it on the correct side so I don't get confused later. The Maze of Darkness, the Veil of Mist. No. Cool. So, episode 5, In Search of the Dungeon Master. Beauty and the Bog Beast is number 6. And we have the river that rains upside down right here. I don't remember any other locations in that episode. Let me check my database. I don't think it's on there either. Beauty and the Bog Beast. What episode was that? 6. Just the river that's all I have written down. Is the river that rains upside down. Moving on. Moving on. Come back. Prison Without Walls. That's a good one. A bug just hit my mouth. That has the Swamp of Sorrows and the Veil of Mists. There's the Veil of Mists. So this is episode 7. Episode 7. Veil of Mists. And what was it? What was the other one? I've confused myself. Yes. Veil of Mist and the Swamp of Sorrows. Great. Cool. I'm just making a note that this is episode 7 for myself. Episode 7. So, I need a Swamp of Sorrows. There it is. It's already on the map. Thank you, Michael. What's his face? For your service. What was it? James Mishler. It wasn't Michael at all. Okay. Episode 8 is The Servant of Evil. Another excellent episode. Where is it? Do I have this on my list? Servant of Evil. Episode 8. The Prison of Agony. Where is the Prison of Agony? Oh, there it is there. I added it. So let's move it. Let's move it around. Let's put it closer. Let's put it around here, I guess. Yeah. Prison of Agony. And that is... Prison of Agony was episode 8. So that's good. I guess I need to move my little thingy. The Prison of Agony. Okay, it's coming together. Oh my god, but we got so many episodes to do left. To do still. Prison Quest of the Skeleton Warrior is episode 9. That's the one with the Lost Tower. And that is going to be... Oh, for some reason it's way up here. I guess that's okay. I guess that's okay. And Henge Ruins are also episode 9. Cool. Quest of the Skeleton episode was number 9. Period. Oh my god, I can't type. Let's do a few more and then call it a night. The next episode is the Garden of Zin, episode 10, Garden of Zin. And Garden of Zin is the Valley of Smoke, which we have. Of Zin and the Garden of Zin. So, episode 10. At least it's close to episode 9, right? Episode 11 is going to be The Box. Okay, The Box is a weird episode because they spend most of it in other dimensions. I don't have anything written down for The Box. So I'll just write down that 11 of The Box. We're skipping it. We're skipping it. Okay, here's an interesting fun fact. Episode 12, the script is called Millennium Children. The name of the episode, the animated episode, is The Lost Children. So there was obviously a change. 12, The Lost Children. This is another one that features a different Venger's Castle. And I don't have anything written down for it, so let's move on. Come back to that. The Girl Who Dreamed Tomorrow. Oh, I'm missing episode 13. What was episode 13? Episode 13. Dungeons, Dragons. Oh, Skull Mountain, yeah. Dungeons and Dragon cartoon. Was Presto Spell's Disaster. One of my most hated episodes. Did not care for that episode. Is there any... There was definitely a town. Disaster. And that was 13. There was definitely a town. I'll have to come back to it. But let's say... Let's just write tentatively on the map. Let's just... If I go back and find things, then maybe that stuff's going to be like around here. Right? Does that make sense? They're kind of going around the map. Episode 13 had it was a beanstalk that went up to the giant land in the clouds, but the beanstalk was then destroyed. So it wouldn't be on a map, would it? No, because we were only there for like a day. But there was a town there, a town, and because Presto was trying to do a spell and he sent all of his friends away except for Uni. He sent them into the I guess you'd call it the castle or the home of the giant, who had a New York accent for some reason. And then Presto and Uni spent the rest of the adventure trying to find them and rescue them. So episode 14 is The Girl Who Dreamed Tomorrow, which I also don't have anything on my list for that. 14, Girl Who Dreamed Tomorrow. Caitiff, help me. What were the locations in Girl Who Dreamed of Dreamed Tomorrow? Is it on my map? I'm trying to remember. That was the Maze of Darkness. That was the Maze of Darkness. So we're coming around. We're gonna have to move some stuff. I'm sorry to say, because I don't have space to. I'm pretty sure the Maze of Darkness was The Girl Who Dreamed Tomorrow, and they went through a couple other places to get there. So I will again have to consult Maze of Darkness. Let's see if we can finish season 2. Is this season 2? Am I on season 2? Episode 15, The Treasure of Tardos. We know where that is. That's up here. 15, 15, 15. 16 is the City at the Edge of Midnight. There was the, let's just put the Oasis of No Return. Is that what it's called? Oasis of... I just watched this episode recently because I was planning today to do a storyboard artist reacts to that episode. But instead, I did this silly old thing. It is called the Oasis of No Return. What is it called? No, not Night of No Tomorrow. Did I not write? Yeah, there it is. There's Kadesh. No, I don't. Let's just say Oasis of No Return. Change it later. And then Maze of Darkness is the girl who... Yes. Thank you for that confirmation. 17 is the traitor, so we know that... Look, it's all coming. It's all like a perfectly planned. It's the Moon Forest, the Bottomless Swamp. Isn't that somewhere else? Forgot about the Bottomless Swamp. Put a question mark before that. Darkhaven. Where's Darkhaven? Darkhaven's Land of Blue Fire. It's all... okay. The Day of the Dungeon Master. That must be Darkhaven. Yes, 18, I believe, is Darkhaven. That's where Eric becomes Dungeon Master for a day. Let's see if that's on my... What was Valley of the Unicorns? That was episode 3, right? No, it was episode 4. Of the Unicorns. Hall of Bones. What am I looking for here? Yeah, a Darkhaven episode 18 was What was it again? Day of the Dungeon Master. I don't think I have anything on my list for that. Yeah, Day of the Dungeon Master is a great episode. Really nice episode. Really fun. And then The Last Illusion was episode 19. And what was in The Last Illusion? We decided that The Last Illusion is that town that you I've got the Last Illusion. I've got Swamp of Darkness and Forbidden Tower. There it is. It's on the map. That's episode 19. Is that where we are? And the Swamp of Darkness. There it is. It's on the map already. Brilliant. But you're saying that there was a town? I wrote it down, but now Torad? No, that's Child of the Stargazer. Am I gone completely mad? So what? Forbidden Tower. Forbidden Tower. Let me do it this way. Forbidden Tower. Not seeing it now. Forbidden Tower. Swamp of Darkness. Swamp of Darkness. The Last Illusion. What episode was The Last Illusion? Last Illusion was... Yeah, that's what... 19. Yeah. I got Last Illusion and Child of the Stargazer mixed up. In my head. Which is where I do most of my mixing up. Okay, we're going to wrap this up real quick. Now, The Dragon's Graveyard, episode 20. Let's just put it over here. Because it's not already on the map, is it? Graveyard. I don't think so. I might have to take another look at it later. And then 21 is Child of the Stargazer, and we discussed that the name of the city was Torad. Let's just put it here for now. Torad. City. And the dungeon at the Heart of Dawn, that all, I believe all of that occurs more or less in the Underdark. Starts on the surface, ends on the surface, but I don't think there's any places named for a dungeon at the Heart of Dawn 22. Last Illusion had a Forbidden Tower and a smaller unnamed village. Okay. And that was episode 19? Yeah. Okay, I'll put down village. And that can be something I can look up later. Alright, Cave of the Fairy Dragons is episode 27. And that is here. For some reason. 27. It's not 27. Is it 27? Well, I'm missing a bunch of episodes. We're going to end it here. Because it's late. And I got things to do. But thanks for joining me. If anyone watches this and then tells me what I'm doing wrong in the comments, that's the place to do it. Tell me what I'm doing wrong in the comments. Sorry there was no drawing. Here, let's do a drawing. Let's draw Venger. I remember he will often. Let's give him some nice eyeliner. Let's increase my. Let's change my brush actually. Let's change it to something interesting. The scratchy nib. That's got too much texture. Let's go rough nib watery. Okay, great. All right. So center line, eye line. He's got. I'm doing this by memory now. Let's give him some. Remember, like he's got like tiny pupils, right? Let's give him baggy eyes. He's got no nose. I remember that. He's got the fangs. I'm evil. Give me your weapons of power or suffer the consequences. That's something that Venger would say. Does he have a... That's the shape of his face, right? So I just give him a little bit of blush. And then his head, his hat. It's always like, he's got a really goofy medieval hat. Venger is goofy. People love him, but he's goofy. I'm gonna draw this, and then we're gonna see. Oh God, what side? I think it's on his right side. His horn. Sorry, his left, our right. I could be very wrong about that. Bum, bum, bum. But I do remember that his hat is goofy. All right, I feel like maybe it should come lower down on his... Oh, snap. Okay, okay. Jeez Louise, Photoshop. Okay. Let's put it down here. And then we'll see. We'll see how close I get. Probably need to do some watch parties and make a list of the locations. Yes. That's not a bad idea. All right. So, and then, I don't know. That's probably not accurate. But I know he's got like, all who defy me. Does he have, I don't think he has nostrils. Sometimes there's like a vague suggestion of a nose, but not usually. So, I don't know. No, let's get rid of that. Doesn't look like him. But we can give him a bottom lip. And maybe a little more angular. And then, yeah. Now there's a draw. Now it's a drawing. I drew something. Let's see how close I got. Venger. All who defy me must be punished. There he is. There's our happy little guy. Let me see if I can drop this out. Yeah, he does have little nostrils. Oh yeah, and his things, he's got his mascara goes, his teeth are way, again, he's goofy. He's goofy. All right, let me fix it. We'll do this in maybe a purple, just to delineate what I got wrong. So, I had the horn on the right side of the face, so that's good. This is more angular, and then it goes up like that, and this is more, comes down like that, and goes all the way down the point down here. It wasn't too bad. His fangs are closer together, which makes him look, what's the word of the day? Goofy. So we got that, and he's just got those two little things here, and his mascara runs here. So that's our good friend, not Dungeon Master, Venger. And he doesn't have that thing there, but it kind of goes down like that. And I was more or less right, although instead of going down like this, you kind of go out more, which is good design. And then he's got his bat wings as well. Thank you for joining me. I will see you next time. Hopefully I'll do some proper drawing, and maybe we'll work on this fun map a little bit more. And aye, goodbye. Like and subscribe. That's the thing that I gotta say. And I will see you next time on the internet.